Hello everyone. We will just start in a moment. We'll let others also join. Hi Sandeep. Hi Kajendra, Rohan, Sachin.
Hi, Corey. Hi, team. Hi, Sandeep.
Hi everyone.
Quite a few people have joined.
Yeah. Will we start now?
I think we can start. Oh, right.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining. And today we will see how we can the agenda of the webinar is unlock data science with agentic AI on your own data. So we will see how Turno AI will help you with data science. Okay. So with the rise of AI tools like ChatGPT and others, it has become very easy to start in data science. And you can do various kind of data analysis on your data using ChatGPT, but there are limitations. It can only answer your question when you prompt it, and it will give a single conversation answer. But there are more things in a data science. So we will see like how AI agents like Turno AI can help you do complex analysis on your data. Okay, so like every organization, whether it is e-commerce, healthcare, or anything, they will have their data in some kind of database like MySQL or BigQuery, or there are many other databases. So we'll see. Okay, we will explore how the agentic AI can help in that. So I will just share my screen. Yes, yes, I will share my screen. I hope it is visible. All right. So we have multiple members from the team in the meeting itself, this webinar. Okay. So Turno AI. So Turno AI is your data scientist. So it can do multiple things, like it can automate data extraction, processing, analysis, visualization, and model development. We'll see all these things in a demo so that you can directly know. Okay, one second. Share, please. Yeah. So this is what Turno AI looks like. And so Turno AI is your data scientist. So how we can automate all the data extraction, processing, analysis, and visualization. So we'll see all that here. So as a user, you can directly log into Turno AI and start working on it. Here, you can directly add your data source. When the data source is connected, it will be shown here. So when you connect the data, it will extract some information from your database and it will build some metadata. So when I ask it some question like, so show me purchases made by the customers in Canada in this particular database, it knows that what kind of data your database contains, and it will be able to answer your questions very well. So we will just see that like this. So it will first give some thought like what is the question. So it will first of all try to identify the data source which is connected. Okay. So to do that, it has written some code. It will run it in some kind of a separate sandbox, and then it will do multiple iterations of this thought and code, and in the end, it will give us the answer. So here it is. So this way you can do quicker analysis on your data using Turbo AI. So so there are multiple other things that Turbo AI can do on your data, like based on the task, the agent can deliver results. Like it can show charts, table, text, or PDF also. And you can share the results with your team. And along with that, you can also create ML models with using Turbo AI. So overall, it can function as your AI data scientist. Yes, Suraj, you have some question? Yeah, I allowed you to talk. Hello, Suraj. You can turn on your mic.
He has put in the question in, yes, I'll answer two questions, right? Hi Neha and Suraj. Let me try to answer the questions before we go ahead. Is this a free tool? The answer is no, because the LLM costs money, so we have to charge for the same, right? It's not a free tool. Next question from Suraj is that can I use mic? Okay. I want to know how we are handling the context window, right? So yes, we have our own internal ways of handling the context window to summarize and to compress the things.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, go ahead.
So actually my question is like, suppose we have a database, for now like Postgres, and then uh, like we have thousands of tables. So in
Yeah,
this case, if we are going to ask a query like uh, about the data which that data set contains, so there will be like huge schema like uh, there are thousands tables. There will be relationships among the tables. So like how our like agent or LLM model going to know like which part of the database schema we have to give as a like context with the
yeah,
user query.
yeah, yeah. So it basically tries to filter the information very quickly in the beginning itself and then does the job. Okay, it uses the what do you call the embedding based approach to filter the tables. Okay.
Okay, sir. Actually, sir, I'm not getting like how like using embeddings like we are going to filter the schema. Like if we are having that much of tables, then like
Yeah,
as every LLM has some context window, and we can't give like all the schema.
yeah.
So
So
like
I would strongly recommend just search for OpenAI embeddings and how to use them. You'll get a big
okay,
idea.
sir. So
All right.
actually, I was working on my data quality solution. So there I was using like Neo4j for the storing of my schema, and then using embeddings to extract the schema based on the relationships that we are going to fetch, like according to user query. So
Yeah.
because why I'm asking this question, like I couldn't do it that much efficiently. It wasn't that effective.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. Probably you can drop us an email. We can discuss it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably a simple answer is use our tool rather than building your new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, in case of Turno, your database is totally secure because first of all, we have multiple layers of security here. Like it cannot ever execute any modifying query. It cannot update your database or delete something. It will only run the select queries. Second is it will only send your database schema. So it will never send or it won't send the actual raw data from your database. So the only the schema will be shared with the LLM. Along with that, it can also share some description, and you can also obfuscate the names if required. So it can have multiple layers of security here. Okay, and yeah. So Gajendra, if you want to go ahead, you can continue.
Sure. Just a second. Yeah. Sandeep, I'll share my screen now. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So basically, to utilize Turno, uh, one needs to log in, right? So if you click on the login button here, I'm already logged in, but it will basically ask you to log in through your Google account. And once you have logged in, you can create an organization. Currently, we are giving $10, right, uh, for new user accounts. So you can create any new user account, for example, uh, new organization, research one, right? Yeah. So once you have created an organization, you will see that you will automatically get around $10 here, and you can start utilizing Turno thereafter. So there are two uh, main ways, right? You can configure Turno. One is from the manage button here. If you click this, it will take you to your admin panel. And from here, you can do a lot of, you can customize how you want to use Turno. For example, uh, you can add different data sources using, we have corrections. You can connect with Postgres, BigQuery, right? Snowflake, multiple data sources. You can also configure your own LLM. You can also, uh, give table row filters, right? So we'll come back to that later, but right now we will see how to utilize Turno. Over here, let's say I want to, if I can also utilize Excel and Excel, Google Docs, anything at all, right? For example, I have this database called Walmart products. So I can just ask Turno I can upload the file and ask Turno to analyze this file and do an exploratory data analysis, right? And we can see what Turno gives. the output that Turno gives us in real time here. We have also added a lot of use cases on our homepage, which will directly guide you to some of the queries that we have already executed for you to see, right, on how Turno does it. So for example, the same query on the Walmart data set over here, right? I ask it to do an EDA or this data set, and Turno executes its thought process just like a normal human being or a data scientist would do. It will start by loading the data set and displaying the basic information, which you can see. You can also see the code and the observation until the final results, right? So over here, it has given us all the columns, right? And then it will start computing descriptive statistics for numeric columns and start saving them to CSV. It will also start creating histograms for the same, right? So as you can see, you uh, you can basically get the output in any format that you like, right? So it has also produced the correlation matrix, and so all these files are saved by default and in your uh, in your section, right? And you can start seeing data sources, chat history, the different files that Turno has produced for you so far, right? All of these logs are already available. Right. So the next query that I had given Turno was identify popular products, analyze seasonal trends, and gain insights into consumer demand, and to give me the marketing and inventory strategies. Right. So as you can see, it quickly uh, performs the analysis and gives us the result. So basically, once it has analyzed your data, it saves and retains the information and will understands it. So as you query more on your data, the results and performance also increases, right? And yeah, so you can do various things with Turno. You can also create machine learning models and execute them using our app services as well, right? So yeah, we can go through some of the other queries that are listed here. For example, one of the interesting one over here is spot seller monopolies by category, right? This is to uncover dominant sellers that are existing in each category, right? So how many products in your supermarket are dominated by the same seller, right? Yeah. So yeah, we basically again analyze the data and give it the prompt, and Turno does the rest for us, right? It gives us the final uh, its key founding findings as well, right? Uh, yeah. So any questions so far? Uh, Anybody in relation to the use cases?
So there is a question from surveys, right? Okay. Question is, the idea behind Turno AI is great. I have a few questions regarding the same. Do you guys provide trial version? If so, how many days credits? So we provide $10 per day credits to everyone. So you can just sign up and start using. Okay. Can we connect it with Cloud DBs? Of course. You can connect with BigQuery. You can connect with all the available databases. Okay. So if so, we can now the further question is, if yes, can we get analysis on daily basis to capture the trend and prepare the future rates? Yes. So you can essentially prepare, you can ask it to prepare a report in the form of a program, and then you can run it daily. Okay, that you can do. And yeah, so that is very much possible. Just that the scheduler is not available right now. We have not built the schedulers. Right? Scheduler is on the way, whereby you can schedule the job and it'll run every now and then. It'll send you an email or so. Okay. So it does. Turno is practically your data scientist. You connect your data source, ask it to do anything, it'll do that. Okay. And a question from SP error. As of now, only select statements are supported. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Further question is a question from Suraj is, will it work on vector DBs? Right now, the data sources can be the relational databases, but internally it uses vector DB. And also, if you provide the API key and other things, you can interact with any service, any system. But there, if you are letting it to talk to any of your systems, it can do anything, just like any data scientist, it can update the data, it can delete the data, it can do anything if you are letting it talk to your database directly instead of going through our data sources. Yeah. A question from Ajit is, on trial version, is our data used for data modeling and how much data is transferred to your cloud servers? Yes, good question. The in the trial version, what happens is that you basically, right, we are not using your any of your data for training our models and so on. We are not. Okay. Second is, how much data is transferred to your cloud or servers? So we do not keep your data. We only pull out the schema. Okay, we only take out the schema. Also, if you are an organization, right, and we basically deploy Turno in your cloud. Okay, we install Turno in your private cloud. Okay, and right. The question from SP is, we have any product documentation? Yes. But most of it, you don't require too much of documentation. Most of the configuration settings are self-explanatory. Okay. A question from Reddy is that can it replace all the work done by the data scientist? Good point. But the thing is that the role of a data scientist is multifold. Okay. Role of a data scientist is multifold. Data scientist has to understand the the vertical domain specific knowledge and so on. So it remains as a great tool for most of the data scientists in your organization so that they can get the work done really, really quickly. So your product managers can think of it like a junior data scientist, which will get everything done. Like, you need to create models, you need to do clustering, you need to come up with pricing strategies, everything. You just connect it to your database and augment it with your tribal knowledge or domain specific knowledge, and then it'll basically do exactly what data scientist does. Okay. A question from Suraj is, there is one question, right? We trained or fine-tuned model for it? No, we are not. Right now, we have not trained a model, but we have fine-tuned a lot. We have augmented it with lots of extra information. Okay. So yeah, we are using right now, we are using the OpenAI model. So there are only few qualified models that we use. Specifically the models which have good reasoning abilities, we use those. Okay. All right. All right. So Gajinder, you want to answer the rest of the questions? Or Akode, do you want to answer?
Yeah. So Suraj had asked, sir, also are we text as response or data dashboard insights? Okay. Sorry, I did not get your question. Okay. GPT also can do upload Excel and SQL file and get input from there. Also get ideas from some graph. Expected report also generate report in new Excel. How it is different? Yeah. So, but in case of ChatGPT, like you can upload your data, but it cannot l- l- gather like all kinds of insight from it. Like, okay, let me answer it in a better way. So, hmm, yeah. So surely you can attach an SQL file to or Excel file to ChatGPT, but there you won't have any kind of security available. First of all, next is it doesn't have the agentic ability. So when Turno AI fails to answer your question, it can correct itself and try again and again till it answers your question. It can run only like secure queries on your data. You can also make your data such that only if you want to hide your data, if it contains fields like phone number, Turno AI can do that by itself. So there are many other things that are different from ChatGPT here. Yeah. So the question is, do we get only text in the response? No, we can get any kind of response. Like if you want to generate some kind of visualization, it can also do that, or any kind of visualizations using libraries like Matplotlib and others also. And it can generate charts also. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Even it can generate SQL file also. So whole point is when data volume increase, GPT won't work. That's what it is doing. What Turno does for security. Okay. Yes, Sandeep. Are you saying something?
Yeah, you want me to take that up?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to take that up. Yeah. So the Turno AI is primarily fundamentally designed with the security in mind, right? So we have something called Akod, can you share the presentation? Or I'll share the presentation. Okay. So if you can see here. Okay. Yeah. So one of the key idea here in Turno AI, the architecture, the the core idea is the metastore and SQL sealed, right? So basically the SQL seal essentially takes care of securing your database, right? In in Turno, what you can do is right? Okay, let me take a step back. So the first thing is Turno does not access your database, your data directly. Instead, it only accesses the schema. Okay, it writes the code and so on. We don't send your data as is to OpenAI or LLM or anything. Instead, it basically writes code to interact with it. Second is we only do the read-only operations on your data. We do not do any kind of modifications to the data. Third is we can control exactly what column the LLM sees or LLM operate upon and what column it does not. What tables you want it to see and what tables you don't want it to see. So you can hide certain tables, you can hide certain columns, you can hide certain rows. Let's say there is a table called sales. It has the data from electronics team, or let's say groceries team, and you don't want one person to see the groceries and another person, you don't want to them to see the electronics sales. And basically you can control each and everything in that way, right? And further we basically ground up the primary component of Turno is the security, and you can control all of this without touching your database. You can give an overlay of the permissions or the security on top of what your database has without asking your database team to modify the database permissions or change it. You can control all these permissions in the Turno's SQL Seal. Okay. A question from SP is without reading how it will generate any report, right? So the way it works is that it'll basically code, and once the result comes in, it will render it nicely. It won't just just read all the data and dump it to the LLM. No, it basically generates and interacts on the level of the information in the table, in the table headers, like the column, the table description, and so on. Okay. In the beginning, if you want, what Turno does is it goes through your data in the beginning if you allow that to happen, right? So you can ask Turno to go through the data. So it'll sample some of the records from every table, come up with a better description, better names for your table, and that way it will give better results. So that's the only time when you share the data with Turno. Okay, so unlike most of the other approaches, where like if you have to do the analysis on your CSV file with say ChatGPT directly, so you'll have to upload all your data to ChatGPT, and then basically they will show it to the LLM as is, and then you'll get the results. That's not the case with us. In our case, all Turno need to know is your database schema, like the table names, table headers, and so on. It will generate the code and execute them. You don't, it doesn't have to see your data. The only time it needs to see the data is in the verification step. It verifies towards the end whether the output seems to be making sense or not. In that case, it looks at the output, samples it, and then redoes the work if in case the output is not matching with what the user wanted. Okay, so those are the places where it accesses data, but it basically is very mindful of to keep the security in place. Okay, I hope that answers your question, SP. Okay, question from Suraj. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering the question. So there's a difference between the way people if you just take the CSV file and give it to ChatGPT and ask the result, basically you are sending all your data to ChatGPT. In case of Turno, let's say Turno is installed in your premise, you can install Turno if you are using AWS, GCP, or Azure. You can create a new image there. We have the Turno's image available in your cloud, and it stays inside your premises. Okay, so keeping the data security in mind, we have made available the software as a on-prem solution rather than only on the cloud. A question from Chandra is that if you're not using our data for training, then how will you make the training for better results? So when we say training or let's say fine tuning, we are only using that to extract the insights on your data. And those insights will remain in your config. Like for example, Based on your data, we figure out that your table is representing sales data with these details. This information that we extract from your table, from your data, would remain in your metadata information. Make sense now? We are not retraining, or we are not basically, taking out any information from your side. Okay. Turno runs in your premises. That's the main plan. All right. Thank you everyone for questions. Yeah, go ahead, Gajendra, you wanted to share.
Yeah, so I was done with my demo of how Turno works. Rohan, would you like to take it from here?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gajendra. Thank you, Sandeep. So let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, if we go over here, we have another section of the, Turno's research, right? And we have multiple research over here, like the social media opinion research. If you open it, we can see that we are doing a sentiment analysis here, right? So the question was analyze the data and do an EDA, also analyze sentiment trends over the time or across different platforms and countries, right? The thought it came up with is that first let load the data set, right? Look over the shapes and columns and in all those other things, and we can see that it does it very quickly and very accurately, right? Then it came up with the thought that let's clean and prepare the data for, parsing the timestamps and other things, also dropping some of the values if there are, checking if there are missing values, right? All of the basic things and data scientist will do, right? Okay. Then it came up with the EDA and sentiment analysis thing. So it identified the top 10 products, generate the basic distributions, plot the graphs, okay, aggregate top 5 sentiments by month, create the platform of platform sentiment for heat map and country sentiment of heat map, does it all the things, right? It writes the Python code for it and given all the data, right? This is a warning for the matplotlib and all things. And then it came up with this thing that these are the insights we have gotten, okay. And then we just typed it to give us the you know uh, monthly trend over the top 5 sentiment towards the positive direction, right? It computes the monthly total proportion of the top five sentiments and done all of these things, print the monthly and overall things. This is the positive sentiments of the top five thing, yearly and monthly, okay. So sentiment of positive, here is joy, here is excitement, and this is neutral, this is continental, this is the sales and all. So this all have things are done, and here we get the a beautiful insight from the data that analyzation reveals that positive sentiment peaks in January with its 42 posts driven by the board listed as neutral, fitness, etc. These are the hashtag, right? So and then joy and contentment both spiked in June plus 7 posts each, and these are the tags, especially Facebook and Instagram, okay. Excitement surge, it was in August, 8 posts with high school athlete and coding adventures, right? So this is how we can get the insight just by writing some basic English prompt. And we can see this FIFA age versus performance, right? Okay, if we look over it, here we are having the data for FIFA, right? and we are saying it to do a EDA and analysis on the player's age versus their performance. Okay, does the same thing, load the data, look over it. Okay, and we have the observations here. These have many of the columns here, but we can get all of these things done by only a prompt. Compute the age wise aggregation, right? Count mean potential and visualize the age on the potential performance. Okay, done all of this and give the insight. So the insight was player average overall rating rise steadily from age 16 through early 20s, peak at age 27, which is mean overall of 75.1 before gradually declining then after. Okay, after this age they are gradually decline in the performance. In contrast of the average potential, it is highest, which is age 17, 74.3. And yeah, this is how we can do all of those typical data science things. And this is the demo for the research part. Okay, any questions regarding this?
There is a question from Chandramali. The question is, does it perform time series problems well? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It does time series pretty well. Does it work as recommendation engine that what marketers will need to do for improving social Yeah, of course. Of course. It's the way you structure your problem. You connect your data sets, that ask it the questions, and it can do the things. Like, for example, one of the e-commerce company that is one of our customers, they use it for all sorts of things. One of the tasks that they used it for was that, given the order's history, can you cluster the users? Can you cluster the users into different buckets and figure out number of appropriate buckets? So it did something called k-means clustering internally. That is what a data scientist would do, and it gave the result. And it also figured out what is the appropriate number of buckets. Okay, using a technique called the elbow method. And that elbow method is what is used to estimate the number of clusters. So they were able to do the clustering of the users based on the order history. And then it also gave the suggestions for every bucket of users. Okay, so yes, that's what is one of the very important use cases. Okay. And yeah, I hope I answered your question, Abhay and Chandra. Yeah, Chandra, I made you may like you can I have allowed you to talk. Okay. Okay. All right. So feel free to ask questions if you have any, everyone. All right. Thank you, everyone. So, Gajendra, do you have any other agenda?
No, the use cases were the end of it.
Okay. Okay. So feel free to reach out. So basically, yeah, can you walk us through that landing page of Turno where there were use cases listed?
Yeah, definitely. Sharing my screen.
A question from Morgan is, with the help of AI, can we correct the interview? Yes, I think you can correct the interviews. Okay. All right. Now let's go up. Yeah. Let's just see. These are the use cases listed on the website of Turno. Say, for example, formulation of marketing and inventory improvement strategies, formulation of improved pricing strategies, sentiment analysis, and formulation of improved sales, correlation between listing detail and customer engagement, analyzing the impact of discount on customer feedback, and spotting seller monopolies by category. Okay, come down. Yeah. So these are some of the examples that are there. Yeah. And social media public opinion research. So this is sort of like a research, and you can take a look at these tasks and right? And those who are interested in the internship with us, okay, so we have launched this internship called Data Science Internship with Turno. So you'll have to prepare the case studies in your vertical as part of the internship. Okay. Question from Ajit is, would you be able to talk about architecture of Turno from technical perspective? Yeah. Yeah. So see, at the end of the day, Turno is basically doing something called chain of thought. Okay. So it comes up with the chain of thought, then executes each thought. And we have a sandbox environment for every user in which it is running the code just like a scientist or engineer. It is running the code, it is basically installing things and then making the analysis happen. Let's say for a certain thing, I like for example, I wanted to do the video splitting. Okay, I gave it a video and said, can you split it into two? Okay, it basically installed all the libraries needed to split the video into two, and then it worked. Though it's not like a data science work, but it did the work. I can just show you, right? I can just show you that part. Say for example here, okay, you can see my screen, everyone. So here I wanted to like for example, I wanted to split the attached video into two equal parts. So I gave it a video and asked it to split it. So it wrote the code for it, okay, and then ran that code inside the sandbox, okay, and then basically it installed something called a movie pie. Movie pie is what is needed to manipulate movies. And once that installation was finished, then it used the movie pie to split the split the results. So now it basically yeah, it again installed some more libraries here. And once that was done, then yes, it ran some more libraries installation. Those libraries were also done. Then it did all other settings that were needed. Here you can see it is running this code to do that. And once everything was done, here it was able to give the results finally here. Okay. And finally it gave me these two movies, part one and part two. Okay, it kind of splitted that video into two parts. It took some time to install various libraries, try them out, check what works, what did not. If one library did not work, then it would install another library. And basically, just like a data scientist or an engineer, it worked. Okay. So that was from the technical perspective. And when it is accessing the data, instead of directly talking to the database, it talks to the database through our SQL Sealed. SQL Sealed basically makes sure that the LLM or the chain of thought sees only the data that is allowed. So those are the two big important part. Third part is the information layer, whereby it keeps on extracting the information from your organization And when needed, it augments that information. So that's the important part. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I hope that was good enough for you. A question from Suraj is that it work on the edge user side. How will be handling subscription here, right? So we basically provide you with our LLM key, and you put it on your software side, and that's how we meter and manage the subscription. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone, and right. You can just give it a try. Go to the website, click on the try now, and then you can fill in the form, and we will approve the request, and then you can basically try it out. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
So SP is asking about the form for internship. SP, please reach out to us at reachers@turno.ai. All right, reachers@turno.ai. Okay, I'll just type reach us at turno.ai. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a